In today's video, I'll be showing you 2 day trips that you can do from the Latvian capital of Riga, so let's get into it. Good morning, so today I'm going to be going on a tour with GetYourGuide. I'm going to go out to the Hill of Crosses and then also go and see Rundāle Palace and Bauska Castle. So we're going to head out now and have a good adventure. This first trip was booked through GetYourGuide. The link to this particular trip is in the description down below. We were picked up by our guide at the cathedral at the centre of Riga, and then we started our journey. So just crossed the border from Latvia into Lithuania, so a little bit longer and then we'll be at the Hill of Crosses. Just arrived now at the Hill of Crosses. It was about a 2-hour drive from Riga, so not too bad, so it's time to go and explore it. As we arrived, our guide gave us some information about the Hill of Crosses, and then we were given about an hour worth of free time to explore by ourselves around this fascinating attraction. The Hill of Crosses is a site of pilgrimage. The precise origin of leaving the crosses on the hill is unknown, but it is believed that the first crosses were placed there after the uprising in 1831. This place is really interesting to come and have a look around. Don't know how many crosses there are. It's estimated over 200,000, could easily be 300,000 though, it's just ridiculous how many there are. There are a couple of other features that you can see, including a monastery, which is a short walk behind the hill. Time has now come to an end at the Hill of Crosses, a really unique location, so definitely one I'd recommend coming to have a look at if you do have time whilst you're here. Just made it to the second location of this tour. It's the Rundāle Palace. It's looking immaculate from the outside, so I'm very excited to have a look around the entire place. Our guide had arranged for a tour here to be given by this fantastic tour guide, who had spent 3 months creating his costume, which really shows just how much effort is being put in here. We were taken around all of the rooms in the palace, and we were told what they were used for back when the palace was in use. This ranged from things as simple as a study or a library, to these huge entertainment rooms. This must have been an incredible place to get invited to back when the palace was under occupation by the Duke. There was also one room that had been left as it was, to show how well restored the palace is today. Our guide had also arranged for us to have lunch in the palace, before having a quick look around the gardens to the rear as well, which I imagine are even more impressive in the summer, but also a lot busier too. So final stop of the day now, it's at the Bauska Castle, so let's go and have a little look around that one. This castle was built between the 15th and 16th century, and it is strategically located at the point where 2 rivers converge, which would have acted as brilliant natural defences, and you can get a great view over these rivers from the top of the tower. If you come here early enough in the day, you can also have a look around the interiors and some of the exhibitions about the castle's histories, including things such as the costumes people used to wear. Although we didn't arrive early enough to look around the interiors, there was still plenty to go and see, so it was still worth visiting on this trip. So just finished at the final stop of the day, which is the Bauska Castle. Nice little castle to have a look around. You can climb up to the top and get a look over the 2 rivers. But that's it for this trip, so just back onto the transport now. About an hour back into Riga, but I definitely recommend doing this trip. I'll leave a link in the description to the Get Your Guide tour that I did. So if you are in Riga and you're looking for something to do, definitely go and do this trip. So I've come out to Rundāle Castle. It was a bit of a distance from Riga. It was 55 minutes in a taxi, or I think it was going to be about 2 hours in the public transport, which is why I've taken a taxi out here, probably get a public transport back. So I'm going to get myself a ticket now and then start having a look around. I got a ticket here for €6, and the map of the area is explained very well for what you can see on your visit. So I've got my ticket now for €6, starting to have a look around. The map's actually a lot bigger than I thought. I thought it was just going to be the castle. There's so much more you can see, so it's a really good price for €6. I started off heading up towards the castle, but before I knew it, I had already got swept away into a little museum explaining some of the history of the Gauger lives. There were information booklets in multiple languages here to make it very easy to learn about the history. After finishing in the museum, I arrived at the castle, which had quite a few details to look at outside, including things like this little well, but I couldn't resist going up the tower, so that's where I headed first. There are quite a few floors to climb with many spiral staircases, and heads up if you're tall, you'll need to watch your head going up those spirals. You're rewarded with a lovely view from the top, which is quite eerie on the day I was visiting due to the fog. After you're finished in the tower, there are multiple floors of museums to look around. Just keep an eye out for the arrows pointing you upstairs, as I almost missed a couple of sections out. So just finished having a look around the castle area now, so you can go up that tower that's just over my shoulder, and there's a few exhibitions that you can have a look around as well. So now that I'm finished up there, I'm going to start looking around the grounds and see some of the other bits that you can get to.
Around the grounds there are quite a few interesting statues, and one or two trails you could go down, but the pathways look quite slippy, so I didn't end up going down them on this visit. The final part I had a look around was this little village that showcased what a few houses would have been like back in the prime days of the castle. I'm not 100% sure, but I think in the summer the houses are open to look around, but at this time of year I was only able to walk around the area, which was still nice enough to do.
So I've just come to the end of my explore around. Unfortunately all of the buildings in this section were closed, but it's still nice to have a look at them and see what they would have been like. So in total, I think it's probably spent about 2.5 hours here, so for that €6 really was worth the price. And you could spend even longer if these things were open. I imagine it's just because I'm here in November and it's really cold, so people probably wouldn't be out in these buildings because they do look quite old.
My recommendation would definitely be to prioritise the trip with GetYourGuide, but if you have plenty of time then Riga Castle is worth seeing. Just be prepared for a long journey with public transport. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on another trip soon.